At 10, caught on camera, an 87-year-old man shot.
And now police are searching for 3 wanted men. We're going to show you the video the moment shots rang out.
In new state laws, we explain the renewed need for homeless shelters as the rules for sleeping outside are hours from changing. That's all tonight on Fox 35 News at 10.
Right now on Fox 35 News at 10, a child saved thanks to some perfect timing.
I just started CPR at that point when I didn't feel the pulse.
Tonight, how strangers also jumped in to help.
Left unattended and wandering the streets.
But he crossed the street to get to my car with no parental supervision, and I'm just kind of concerned for his safety.
A father is behind bars as his toddler is found in a delivery van.
And we are tracking the tropics tonight, just days after Hurricane Helene made landfall here in Florida. Another possible storm could impact the state. It hasn't formed yet, but if it does, it would be given the name Milton. And it could bring a whole lot of rain with it. Thanks for joining us on this Monday evening. I'm Luann Sorrell.
And I'm Manny Martinez. Now, despite Helene just moving through, conditions are still prime for another storm. Yeah, let's send it right over to Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Noah Berggren for the latest model runs. Noah.
Yeah, Manny, things remain steady tonight with the forecast. The chances of development are still at 40% within this orange zone as we go forward through the next 7 days. And notice the arrows I've drawn on here. That is the likely path of this next system. So development is possible starting Friday into Saturday. Whatever forms will get steered towards the peninsula, and it'll be a much slower storm than Helene was. So the track of this potential system is very clear this far out, that whatever forms will get steered to the east towards the Florida peninsula as we head into early parts of next week. In terms of the timing, there's a large window. Some of the guidance suggests as soon as Sunday morning. This system comes by some as late as next Tuesday night or even Wednesday, but I think we can hone it down between Sunday and Tuesday for potential impact here in central and southern Florida. Intensity remains a little unclear as of this right now. While not as intense as Helene, I still do think a tropical storm or hurricane personally is possible out of this system between, again, Sunday and next Tuesday. Our Fox model has updated for tonight. I'll show you that hour by hour coming up.
All right, thanks, Noah. We are continuing to track damage left behind by Helene.
Florida is sending resources up to the Carolinas as thousands of people there remain without power tonight. And cleanup is just beginning. Fox 35's Hannah McKenzie is live here in the studio right now with a look at all the devastation. And Hannah, the death toll now stands at 120.
Yeah, just staggering numbers, especially coming out of western North Carolina. They were hit hard. Just horrific images coming out of that region with downed power lines and cell phone towers. Much of the area is still cut off from communication. Now, it's not just North Carolina. Parts of Tennessee are also facing similar issues. And we're seeing video of first responders making multiple rescues, including pulling a dog from the floodwaters. That's Tennessee Wildlife Resources agents there. They were able to get that dog safely onto their boat. They also assisted in multiple other rescues, getting people to dry land. In the Alert Center tonight, Hannah McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
Hannah, thank you. And nearly 40,000 insurance claims have already been filed here in Florida for storm damage. The number of claims connected to Hurricane Helene is expected to increase in the coming days and weeks. Ranchers, farmers, and timber growers are reporting widespread damage from wind and rain.
As bad as it is to see a restaurant hammered or see homes, you don't want loss of life. That is the one thing we can't rectify. You know, we can always rectify property. We can rectify infrastructure. You can't rectify the loss of life.
Florida's Attorney General Ashley Moody estimates damage from Helene could be anywhere from $20 to $34 billion. Manny?
Luann, the search is on for these 3 men right here. Police say one of them shot an 87-year-old at a gas station. Fox 35's Stephanie Buffonti is live in Leesburg tonight. And Stephanie, police are also trying to determine a possible motive.
Manny, that is right. Police are trying to figure out exactly what happened here. But what we do know is that the elderly man was in the driver's seat like how I am now when those 3 suspects surrounded the car. One of those suspects going to this side, the driver's door was open when the shot was fired. As of this morning, that elderly victim was still in the hospital in critical condition. If you have any information that would help find the 3 suspects, call Crime Line. Reporting live in Leesburg, Stephanie Buffmati, Fox 35 News.
Stephanie, thank you. All new tonight, a nasty accident involving a bicycle and a car. Take a look. It happened at Colonial and Chuliota in Bithlo. That's just east of Orlando off of Highway 50. You can see the green bike was mangled after the crash, with one of the wheels bent and part of the handlebars broken off. Highway Patrol also responded to help clean up the scene. No word yet on how the bicyclist is doing. Also new tonight, a whale is now dead after washing up on the beach in Daytona Beach shores.
That's where we find Fox 35's Chris Lindsay live tonight with the latest. Chris.
Yes, I spoke with a man named Jeremy Mascarella who was riding his bike here in Daytona Beach shores near the Sun Globe Pier when he saw this. There you can see SeaWorld staff on the scene tending to that animal. Now, we reached out to SeaWorld, and unfortunately, as you mentioned just a few minutes ago, we learned that the whale didn't make it. The next step for them is to perform a necropsy to determine the cause of death. Reporting live in Volusia County, Chris Lindsay, Fox 35 News.
Sad update there. Thank you. Well, coming up next, a Fox 35 exclusive, a family vacation turns into a nightmare. A boy passes out on a Disney ride.
I was screaming. He was sitting in front of me. I know that I was hitting him and just saying, something's wrong, something's wrong.
How strangers jumped in to save her son's life, coming up.
And Magic momentum. The Orlando Magic soar in a media day today with high hopes for the upcoming season. What players say will be their key to success as they look to go deeper into the playoffs.
Plus, makeshift bombs at a Tampa casino. What we know tonight after 2 evacuations in 12 hours.
Then a little later, politics on the playground. A once taboo topic is now entering the classroom.
They want to be a part of the conversation. They want to share what their thoughts and views are.
How it could be taking an emotional toll on our kids. We'll be right back.
Hurricane Helene picking up speed.
By 2 a.m., a Cat 2. By 2 p.m. tomorrow, a Cat 4.
We could see tornadoes at any point.
Live team coverage all across the state.
It has picked up here.
The rains are horizontal.
This tree fell on top of this home.
Power outages, TJ, are racking up 38,000 now.
Stick with us as we cover Helene.
Join us each day on Battleground as we talk to the swing state voters about how they're feeling and their all-important vote on November 5th.
Tonight at 11:30 on Fox 35. Get the most from your smart TV. Download the free Fox Local app.
All right, we continue to watch for the potential of Milton impacting Florida early next week. We've got brand new model runs, some new details. I'm going to go through everything that you need to know in a few minutes.
Now for an exclusive story you will only see right here on Fox 35. A family has a scare of a lifetime at Disney when their 5-year-old son passes out on a ride.
Fox 35's Randy Hildreth is live at Disney. Randy, the family gives a lot of credit here to the strangers around them for helping save their son.
Yeah, good evening to you both. Very scary moments for this family. The little boy passed out. Mom said she could not feel a pulse. She started doing CPR. She says 2 park goers jumped in to help as well, and Disney staff also rushed to the scene to try to help. And the family worked to track down that couple who jumped in to help them when this emergency happened. Also worked to connect with the folks here at Disney to say thank you for their help. Social media helped a lot with making these connections. I'll have that part of the story coming up for you new at 11. Reporting tonight, Randy Hildreth, Fox 35 News.
Glad he's okay, Randy. Thank you. Well, the tropics are heating up again. We are currently tracking 5 areas throughout the Atlantic and the Gulf, and some of them could impact Florida. Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Noah Bergeron is back with us tonight.
And Noah, you were talking earlier about a backloaded hurricane season.
Very much so, Manny, and I think October will be very busy with a lot of storms coming in for this year. So here's the basin view. You've got Isaac up here that's going to fall apart. Joyce is basically done with. Kirk, now a tropical storm, a new wave here, and then potentially a new wave there. So let's take it one by one. Here is Joyce. It's a tropical depression. This will be falling apart tonight and tomorrow. So beyond this for tomorrow, It's not going to come again, not going to form again. It's done with. Here we go with Kirk. Now, this one's going to be a big storm. 60-mile-an-hour winds tonight. It's a tropical storm. You can see a lot of convection start to fire up on the north and west side of that low. This, I do think, will become a monster hurricane, possibly a Cat 4 as we go through later this week. Now, I'll overlay our Fox model with the cone so you can see the giant eye on this hurricane. If you are cruising out of Cape Canaveral, or you know somebody cruising out of Cape Canaveral, there will be some very big surf coming into the Bahamas and the Caribbean later this week. And that will make it to our East Coast beaches this weekend, maybe some 5 to 10, 6 to 11 footers from this hurricane. So if you are cruising later this week, if you were not aware, if the cruise line hasn't told you yet, there will be a lot of rough ocean because of Kirk. Now, the good news for Kirk is it will not impact any landmass, but it will be a massive hurricane. Behind that, this is that next wave, which has a 90% chance of development. This is a wave coming off the coast of Africa. This also will likely become another hurricane, and when it does get named, it'll be Leslie. Then we have this system in the Western Caribbean going into the Gulf. This will probably get guided towards Florida next week if it does form. So let me show you the Fox model for that. Now, it's kind of a similar meteorological setup as Helene was in terms of it's forming out of this gyre over Central America. Now, the odd thing is our Fox model is doing something I haven't seen in a hot minute, forming 2 tropical storms attached, which I don't think that's how that would happen, but I'm just showing you what the models are indicating, and they have all got some weird, crazy illustration like this. When I'm saying weird, crazy, you really wouldn't have 2 tropical storms like this. It would likely be just one somewhere in there as soon as Friday or Saturday. Then eventually heading into next week, whatever is in this area will come towards Florida is the idea. So here's the bottom line. Development into a named storm is still tricky. Personally, I do think we will see at least a tropical storm out of this. It may be kind of sloppy, but I do think we'll see a named storm out of this. Some of the guidance still indicates a hurricane, and I don't want to rule that out. We saw this with Francine in New Orleans. A few days out, a lot of people thought it would be a nothing burger, and then it ended up as a Cat 2 into New Orleans a few weeks ago. So I don't want to completely rule out this being a hurricane at all. But regardless, there will be that tropical wave that forms, and there could be a lot of rain here next week, possibly significant rain Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Heck, some of the models are showing 10 inches of rain somewhere in the state, so that's worth watching. So Leslie is out in the Atlantic. Then this next storm will become Milton, and again, if it impacts us, which I think it will in some form, it would be between Sunday and Tuesday of next week. So tomorrow, a lot more storms than we had today. I'll show you the updated hour-by-hour view for tomorrow coming up in about 25 minutes. 90 on Wednesday, 90 on Thursday. Shower chances come back up Friday and Saturday. Then again, we'll be watching the Gulf of Mexico for the potential of Milton coming to the east early next week.
All right, Noah, thank you. New and next at 10, a mega media merger.
DirecTV has its eyes on a competitor, but will regulators give it the green light?
Plus, as Florida bans public camping and sleeping in just the next few hours here, a legal debate is brewing. A local state attorney's thoughts on the strain it could put on our legal system.
This is American Cancer Society making strides against breast cancer, the #1 breast cancer movement in the country. Get in on the life-saving impact. Sign up today.
Fox 35 is our exclusive media partner.
Starting at midnight tonight, it'll be illegal to camp and even sleep in public all across Florida. And tonight, a local state attorney says the law has the potential to criminalize homelessness. Orange Osceola State Attorney Andrew Bain says the law will likely increase law enforcement interactions with people who are homeless. He says people could be booked on charges of resisting as officers tell them they have to move from what has now become their home. Or Bain says officers could charge people with things like drug possession. He says that would all mean more cases for his team of prosecutors.
Any increase, especially one that in the rates that we see homeless people arrested here in our circuit, it would dramatically change my workload. And so that's why we're going to the legislature this year again to try to get some more people in the office.
Bain also points out the law is open to broad interpretation. Starting January 1st, you will be able to file lawsuits against cities and counties you believe aren't following the law. But if there are 50 people sleeping beneath one underpass, is that one lawsuit or is that 50?
Interesting. A consumer alert tonight. DirecTV wants to buy rivals Dish and Sling for $1. But that company would also take on $9.8 billion of debt from the former owner. DirecTV says it will bring smaller and more affordable packages to customers. The deal is expected to close in late 2025. That is, if regulators approve it.
In our next half hour, a 2-year-old navigating the streets all by himself ends up in a delivery driver's vehicle. Dad ends up here in jail. Deputies say they've been to his house before, coming up what they found this time.
Plus, an Orlando woman swimming laps in a pool suddenly passes out.
6 minutes without my own pulse, so they counted me as dead.
Find out how this brush with the beyond changed her life. The big story at 10:30 tonight. A toddler wanders away from home and ends up in a food delivery van. The father, you see him here, thrown in jail.
Deputies say it's not the first time they've been called because of this dad. Fox 35's Chris Lindsay shares how a weed pipe, a BB gun, and what the sheriff's office calls deplorable conditions all led to his arrest. Developing tonight, Republican State Rep Randy Fine is firing back after a contempt of court hearing. He filed a motion to get the judge dismissed. Fine was caught on camera giving the middle finger in a virtual hearing last month. We blurred it. Fine denied any wrongdoing and filed a complaint against the judge. He also sent a letter to the House of Representatives calling for discipline on what he calls defiance of the Constitution. Fine's contempt of court hearing is scheduled for tomorrow.
Developing news tonight, the FBI is trying to figure out who put bombs in the bathrooms at Seminole Hard Rock Casino over in Tampa. That casino was evacuated twice in just 12 hours. The Seminole Police Department says a crude concealed device with fireworks was found just before midnight in a men's bathroom. The Hillsborough County Bomb Disposal Team helped deactivate it. Then just after noon today, a second concealed device was found in another bathroom. Investigators are now revealing surveillance video and working with the FBI to figure out who's responsible.
Doctors are calling it a miracle in the water. An Orlando woman swimming laps suddenly passes out in the pool.
Yes, she was without a pulse for 6 long minutes, but thanks to some heroes, she survived. Fox 35's Randy Hildreth has her amazing story.
That was Randy Hildreth reporting. The man accused of plotting to kill former President Donald Trump earlier this month at Trump's West Palm Beach golf course was in court today. Ryan Ruth pleaded not guilty to 5 counts, including the attempted assassination of a presidential candidate and assault on a federal officer. Last week, Ruth's attorneys addressed a letter he left in a box to an unnamed associate. It urged others to, quote, finish the job of trying to kill Trump if he failed. It offered $150,000 to anyone who was successful. Ruth's attorneys say he'd always planned to fail, and it was an attempt at publicity.
You know, it's not a great defense, but when you don't have much, that's what you do.
The House Judiciary Committee is investigating the Justice Department for releasing Ruth's manifesto, warning the move could inspire potential copycats. Ruth's attorneys are requesting a jury trial. If convicted, Ruth could face a maximum sentence of life in prison.
Port workers could walk off the job tonight at midnight if a new deal is not reached. It would likely cripple the shipping industry. It would impact about 45,000 workers across the East Coast, including the ports in Jacksonville, Tampa, and Miami. The dock workers are asking for a 77% raise and a promise that cranes, gates, and container movements be monitored by humans, not AI. The group representing some of the biggest shipping companies say that those demands are not practical, and a strike will only raise prices for consumers.
If we can't automate our ports, we'll continue to fall further and further behind. Our ports are less efficient than ports in third world nations like the Congo.
Some officials are now urging folks to avoid panic buying, claiming there will be no shortages of essentials like food and medicine, and price gouging will not be tolerated. Fox is told that for each day that these ports are closed, it's going to take 4 to 6 days to get operations running normally.
A consumer alert. 2 key benefits for people with student loans are set to expire at midnight tonight. The federal government paused penalties for missed payments or late payments for people enrolled in the On-Ramp and Fresh Start programs. Well, starting tomorrow, any missed payments will be reported to the credit bureaus. If you have never registered for a payment plan, you just have over an hour left. In the Fox 35 Sports Zone tonight, the NBA season is just around the corner, and Magic Media Day was today at the Kia Center. Always an exciting time.
Right. This is when all the sports start getting played. Well, fans and the team are pumped up for what lies ahead after a playoff push last season. Fox 35's RJ Clay here's where everyone's head is at right now ahead of the preseason opener next Monday.
Basketball Hall of Famer and NBA Global Ambassador Dikembe Mutombo has died. He was surrounded by his family after a fight with brain cancer. 7'2" Mutombo was known for his iconic finger wag after making big blocks at the rim. He played for multiple teams over his career, including Denver, New York, and Houston. Mutombo was 58. And the polarizing all-time Major League hits leader, Pete Rose, died today. Rose spent 24 years in the bigs as a player. He managed for a few more. He's banned from the Hall of Fame after a gambling scandal in 1989. Rose was 83.
Today, President Joe Biden gave a warm welcome to the United States 2024 Olympic and Paralympic teams at the White House. Among the crowd was Orlando's very own boxing bronze medalist, Amari Jones. The USA Olympic team took the most medals home from Paris during the Summer Games, topping the charts with a whopping 126 medals. For the Paralympics, USA came in third with 105 medals. Biden is celebrating those wins and applauding the athletes for, quote, representing the very best of America.
When you competed, it wasn't just you in the spotlight. You represent all the people who sacrificed for you, as was mentioned earlier, just as you sacrificed yourself. Early hours, long days, intense training, sometimes overcoming extreme disappointment.
Biden says he wasn't allowed to attend the games in Paris because of the chaos that would have caused. He joked that no one will stop him from attending the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles since he will not be president then. Coming up next year on Fox 35 News at 10, politics in the classroom. Is it shaping our kids or silencing them?
The responses that take place in those scenarios will immediately tell that child whether their voice matters.
When politics invades playtime, see how it can impact mental health and what we can all do to foster respectful dialogue.
But first, we're saving you some cash with the Fox 35 Pump Patrol. Look at this. We found gas at $3.18 a gallon at the 7-Eleven in Mineola on Washington Street. We will be back in just a couple of minutes.
Fox 35 News is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome back. You Decide 2024, a new Florida-based poll by Victory Insights was just released earlier this evening. It shows the presidential race here in Florida between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump is now too close to call. This is a very surprising update because Florida has 1 million more Republicans than Democrats. Well, as the campaign trail heats up, the vice presidential nominees are set to debate tomorrow evening, and you can watch it right here on Fox 35.
Ohio Senator J.D. Vance and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz are both looking to bolster their ticket with only 5 weeks till the election. Vance, once a critic of Mr. Trump, served in the Marine Corps before moving to San Francisco to work as a venture capitalist.
J.D. is prepared on all of the terrible decisions that Kamala Harris has made throughout her entire career.
And Walz was born in Nebraska and moved to Minnesota as an adult. He served 24 years in the Army National Guard and worked as a high school teacher and assistant football coach.
Tim is a good man. He's a great governor. He'll be an amazing vice president.
The debate you can watch right here on Fox 35 tomorrow night at 9. The candidates will be responsible for fact-checking each other. And as we inch closer to Election Day, many have already decided whose name they'll be dropping in the ballot box, and they're not afraid to make their choice known.
So could all the political chatter about the election actually be harmful to our children? Fox 35's Rebecca Castor explains.
All right, it was a beautiful afternoon across Orlando. This here is a time lapse from Lake Fairview. Look at that. Lots of pretty blue sky. Turns into a nice night. Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Noah Berggren.
Yeah, Noah, a perfect start to our work
Yeah.
week, but showers are in the forecast for tomorrow.
And actually, I think around the city, there could be some flooding tomorrow evening now. We've got some new data in for that. So we'll have to keep an eye on that for your evening commute tomorrow. First, though, out there tonight, quickly at 10:45, a little shower here going into western Osceola that's falling apart. A little shower over downtown. Windermere, a little light shower. No lightning, though. Had a brief downpour near Goldenrod. A little light shower near Oviedo right now. Had a decent downpour over Sanford right now over by the lakefront there, but that's falling apart. Some bigger storms tonight down in southwest Florida. Still the remnants of Helene. A tornado warning tonight in eastern North Carolina from Helene's remnants that are still ongoing, which, as I'm sure you've seen, have been horrible, catastrophic, deadly, terrible. There's no amount of negative words. It's just heartbreaking what has happened from that system. And all the flood alerts, there were 230 of them, of which 34 were flash flood emergencies, and the tornado warnings were significant as well. We had several in central Florida. There were more down in south and southwest Florida. Then plenty of tornadoes, 150 plus that were issued. Now, unfortunately, Helene's remnants in Helene are now the 5th deadliest U.S. hurricane since 2000, just behind Ian and Sandy in the last 24 years. All right, in the tropics, this area, it may develop into a tropical storm next week, early next week, maybe a low-end hurricane. We're going to watch it closely. If it does, it would be named Milton. And make sure you trust us on air and online. We'll track that for you going forward. All right, so tomorrow, afternoon and evening in the zone I've circled in black, we just got some new data in, and I want you to be aware of this. There's the potential for some localized flash flooding. I think somewhere could get over 5 inches of rain just tomorrow evening. Orlando, the theme parks, Orange County, Seminole County, down to Brevard County, from some very slow-moving downpours and storms. This is just a model. It's not gospel, but let me show you this hour by hour. So tomorrow morning out the door to work and school is dry and it's quiet. Tomorrow midday about 3-4 o'clock, heading home from work, there's some slow-moving downpours, and by 5:30, notice what happens. The radar fills in. They'll expand north up to Sanford, Lake Mary, Altamont, Winter Park, and these will be torrential downpours. And again, I do think we could have some flash flooding tomorrow evening. This has changed a little bit from earlier today, and those storms and showers may linger until about midnight tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. So because of that, I've raised the rain chance tomorrow to 90%. But again, if you're up by the villages in Gainesville, you probably don't see much. It's really the city area for tomorrow evening. So we'll be on guard for some flash flooding, maybe a severe storm or two in the evening. 90 on Wednesday, Thursday with lower rain chances. Temperatures come down over the weekend as we'll watch the potential for Milton to form in the Gulf.
That 84 for a high next week is looking good. That's going to feel nice. Well, coming up next here at 10, meet the furry friends at MCO. Why today marks an important day for the paws, bringing smiles and comfort to travelers.
But before we head to break, here's a live look at downtown Orlando on this Monday. Thanks for staying up with us. We're back with some more news after the break. Traveling can be a stressful time, but one thing that can make it all the more enjoyable is running into a furry face like that
Yes,
one.
a cute furry face. Today, the MCO Paw Pilots are celebrating their 5th anniversary. The 15 dogs have brought comfort and joy to thousands of travelers over the past 5 years. The MCO Paw Pilots is a volunteer program that started as a way to give travelers a chance to decompress and cuddle with a certified therapy dog. The MCO Paw Pilots is a volunteer program, as we said, and if you would like to meet one of these celebrities, you can visit them at the airport Tuesday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. right near the food court area.
New details tonight. Next year's theme at the Florida State Fair is Let Your Fun Shine. Flash sale tickets go on sale online tomorrow morning at 10 and will be available for 12 hours. Now, here's the deal. They're just $5 while supplies last without any added fees. Ooh. Yeah, how about that? The fair runs February 6th through the 17th at the State Fairgrounds in Tampa.
Gotta love the corn dogs and funnel cake.
I'll have to hit it up because who doesn't love funnel cake, especially at a state fair?
Absolutely.
The late news at 11 is coming up next.
And Fox 35's Hannah McKenzie is here to kick things off. Hi, Hannah.
Hey, guys. Shocking new allegations against a famous rapper. One woman is sharing her story, and it could be a new look inside Diddy's alleged freak-off parties. Those details coming up at 11.
Nightlights is sponsored by Ocean Bank, taking business further.